Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Poker Show. I'm your host, Edward Jones. And today, I have a special guest with me this special day. He's a former student representative of the school board of Newport News Public Schools and is a current student at Norfolk State University. Please welcome Jordan Moody. So how are you doing today?
Oh man, I'm doing well and I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me, EJ.
No problem. So let's get straight to the questions.
Yes, sir.
So first question is, what was your field of study?
My field of study right now, I am a senior history education honors scholar. I am a history teacher, going to school to be a history teacher. Yes, sir.
Okay. And what made you choose that field?
So it's two reasons why I chose the field of history education. The first reason is because I recognize that if you look at the demographics of teachers in the United States, around 2.3% of all teachers in the United States are black males. Anything else is either African American female or it's a white male or white female or other ethnicities, but only 2% of black males occupy the space of an educator. And so I understand how important it is for us to remember that past, remember our history, so that then we can then reshape the future. And so that's what I'm looking forward to doing by way of being a history teacher.
Okay, that's very a unique way of attacking it, because majority just do it, just for the kids and money reasons. But you doing it just because you wanted to challenge yourself in a field of predominantly, non-black people.
Absolutely.
Non-black men.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at it, especially like an area like Newport News, right, where we have such a high demographic of African American students.
Yeah.
It's difficult when the educators and the people that they're spending most of their time with does not look like them or is not reflecting of them. And so it's so important and so essential that inside of our schools, our students see themselves and see themselves in more than just a rapper, more than just someone who's doing something negative in the community, because we understand that we all as a people are so much more than that.
Yeah. So if there was any other study or any other field you would be studying in, which one would you choose and why?
Man, in high school, I served as the assistant athletic director. And so I thought before going into history education, I thought that was something I was going to want to do, sports management. And I still like to see sports management. I still like to see the operations and day of operations of sports. And so I probably would have went to sports for an instrumental help.
Okay, that's interesting. So how would you describe the people in your field of study?
I describe historians as brilliant people, first and foremost.
Yeah, they got to be knowledgeable.
Oh, you have to be brilliant, you have to be hardworking, but you also have to be dedicated to your field of study, right? Because we understand that as a historian, you are responsible for telling the story so that others can pick it up and tell the story.
Yeah,
and so,
you got to know everything.
Oh, yeah, man, and you have to be in depth with it, and you have to be in tune, and so historians are sometimes nerds. I call myself a nerd. But most importantly, we see the importance of history, American history, African American history, world history, because we understand that if we want to be further, if we want to advance not only ourselves, but our communities, we've got to do better. And we've got to make sure that we see what we did wrong in the past so we can make sure that we make it better in the future.
Yeah, you also got to teach it in different ways to students. So every history teacher teaches it in a different way.
Absolutely.
Some do it by textbooks, some do it by, like a slideshow, just showing the kids different pictures and different facts. So you just got to make something out of your own thing that can stand out.
I mean, I believe that history is a book. It's a story, right? That's what history is. And so as history teachers, we have to do more than just teach you out of a textbook. Or teach you out of slides, because what we studied is that students don't remember like that. I know I don't. And so really when I go into the field of being an actual teacher, that's going to be my main responsibility, to make sure that I'm teaching and I'm educating in a way that's going to be impactful and memorable for 10, 15, even 30 years down the road.
Okay. So we're going to have more with Jordan Moody. We'll go to a quick commercial break and see you soon.
And welcome back to the Virginia High School 1600 meter state championship. As we get back to the action, we see Miles Monpoint is gaining on Antonio Boyd for the first place finish. Oh! Miles Monpoint just tripped Antonio Boyd.
But Trayvon is helping him up right now.
Trayvon is helping him up, as Trayvon just sacrificed his third place finish to help out Antonio Boyd.
Yeah, that right there is kindness and excellent sportsmanship right there by Trayvon.
Whoa, man, you just hit my car. Chill out, man. I didn't even hit your car. I'll show you chill out.
That was a bit of an overreaction. In order to manage your anger better and make sure events like this don't happen to you, here are a few small pieces of advice that you can follow. Think before acting. Take deep breaths. By following just these two pieces of advice, we can all start to live much healthier, happier lives.
All right, welcome back. Again, I'm your host, Edward Jones, here with special guest Jordan Moody. And next question I want to ask you is, what made you want to work with the youth?
Man, I'm a product of a single-parent household, right? And so I saw the many sacrifices that my mom made for myself and my younger brother. But I always took an important responsibility that at an early age, I saw that my brother looked up to me in everything that I did. If I jumped a certain way, he was going to jump a certain way. If I said something, he was going to say something. And so I took that as my responsibility to ensure that I empower him to know what to follow, know how to follow, most importantly, follow the right thing. And so I do believe it's my calling to be impactful to our youth, to our future, because we recognize that there's so much going on in the world, but we can change it if we see the right people changing it. And so that's really my main focus and main drive for youth and in youth. I'm currently serving as the youth and young adult pastor at First Baptist Church, Denby. Man, and I'm just enjoying the journey to see them grow spiritually, but also to see them just grow physically, emotionally, and holistically. And so I'm just proud of that moment to be able to give back to those who are going to give to our world.
Okay, so you currently have a special position right now. Can you tell us what that position is and what's the biggest challenge in your position?
Oh yeah, man. I would say the biggest challenge in the position of being a youth and young adult pastor, I would say, is not having enough time in the day, right? Because when you develop and curate those relationships with those kids, man, you want to be everywhere. You want to do everything, but you recognize you just can't do it. And so my call now is to make sure that wherever I'm at, I'm the most impactful, I'm the most unique, and I'm living every single day with them like it's my last, because we understand that we have to take for granted, or we should not take for granted, each and every day, each and every moment we get to spend with those we love.
Yeah, because especially as a pastor, you want to touch everybody you possibly can, especially people that are younger than you, that look up to you.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely understand that. So how do you balance the success for your role?
I believe first and foremost in taking time to sit back and to unwind. You cannot pour into an empty cup, right? And so I really prioritize in this moment and in this space my peace, and prioritize what I'm feeling and what is fueling me, but then also ensuring that I stay grounded with the people that I want to see and want to be around, right? Who I see myself in. It's often told that your network, who you surround yourself with, is going to be at some point tied to your net worth, how much or how important or how much you are. And so I really find it important to be around those people that have those same goals, have those same ambitions, have those same drives as me. But then most importantly, always remembering that the opportunity we have can be taken away at any moment. So you do your best at each and everything you do, because you never know again when it's going to be your last time doing it.
Yeah. So how does your team collaborate with other people?
Man, we with being a church, you know, it's important that we touch every single piece of the church. You know, we have the leaders, we have other leaders, we have other teams, and so our team and each and everything that we do, and goes for any role, right? I believe it begins with relationship building, because if you know my weaknesses and I know your weaknesses, but you know my strengths and I know your strengths, then we can kind of work together
Yeah,
to
bounce off
then
each other.
write and build the best team. I go often with a phrase that says, alone we could do so little, but together we could do so much. Because I believe in any team, aside from the church, any team in general, once you really tap into the knowledge and the respect and most importantly the relationship of each team member, man, there's nothing that y'all can't do as a team.
Yeah. So what are the most immediate projects that needs to be addressed? It don't even gotta be like in the community. It could be like anywhere around the city, state, just in general.
Man, I really want to spend time this year that I feel as though is an immediate address is to spend time ensuring that people are confident with who they are. Right? I think that we live in a world where we're fueled right now by music.
Yeah.
We are driven by TikTok. We're driven by what we see on our phones and on certain videos and on certain movies. But I find it important at this time, right, that it's okay to be who you are.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be around certain cultures or certain climates. It's okay to vibe out just who you. It's okay to be all A student. Ain't nothing wrong with it, right?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
so I feel as though our important role as a city, as a state, and consequently as a nation is to recognize who we are, whose we are, and how impactful we can be if we know those two.
Yeah, because we definitely live in a world where we like to put down other people
Oh,
who are
yeah.
trying to be who they are, and we just put it down and wreck their confidence. So I definitely agree with you on the fact that you want to build people up and make them believe in themselves and be who they are.
Yes, sir.
So how would you describe your team and the way that you do things?
So I'm gonna give you a little bit. I have multiple teams. Of course, I am youth and young adult pastor here in Newport News, but back on campus at Norfolk State University, I serve as the chapter president of my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Epsilon Pi chapter. And then aside from that, I am the National Panhellenic Council president as well as the Joint Greek Council president. And on each of those teams, man, I have to first say they're phenomenal. I'm gonna tell you this. I forget a lot. I forget so much, man. But my teams are who keeps me accountable. And I think that goes around and is a testament to, again, surrounding yourself around people who have that same mindset of winning, but most importantly, of being impactful in any space that we're in. Because we know that that's what we're here to do. We are here to give back. We're here to pour back. But most importantly, we're here to lift up.
Okay, so my last question is, what would you tell people in the future, like any advice or anything that wants to, let's say, be in the same career field as you, or just anything they want to do in their life as a dream?
Oh yeah, man. I live by this quote right here. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is your best. Recognizing that we're going to make mistakes. None of us are perfect.
Yeah.
None of us have it all figured out. But the one thing that we can say is that if we put our best foot forward each and every time, we will grow each and every day. And so it's our responsibility to not just lift up, but also lift back.
Yeah.
Knowing that if we are making it, if we're striving, if we're succeeding, if we're doing it, we have the opportunity to lift somebody up with us to do the exact same thing.
That's perfect. So again, thank you, Jordan Moody, for being here with us.
Thank you for
this
having
crew.
me.
That's pretty much it for the Focus Show. I'd like to thank Jordan Moody again for being here. Thank the director, Trayvon, for setting this whole thing up.